Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the Fighting Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. It's your man, Big Al. I know it's not Friday; it's Saturday. I'm usually your Friday night guy. Me and Mike Laura, we did a little do-si-do. We switched up a little bit, but all for good reason here. Phillies, big win tonight, 3-2 against a really good Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom did not come into this game the last two games with his best stuff, but tonight he did have his best stuff. Kept the Phillies at bay for a while, but a lot of production from the bottom of the order, a lot of heat from Rob Thompson's lineup, taking Nicky Bats out of the order, platooning 4 out of these 3 guys, keeping Max Kepler in the game. A lot of things to talk about. It's August 9th now. Are you on board yet, Philly? Are you on board yet, you doubters out there? Are you ready to let your hearts get ripped out one way or the other? Are you ready to buy in and look? We're going to look a little bit into the rest of the National League. We're going to look around the league a little bit, of course, go over the scores. But are you ready to buy in on the Brewers? Are you ready to buy on who's a good team and who's not? We're going to talk about all that. But Phillies win tonight, 3-2, taking the series after last night's win, going for the sweep tomorrow. And as I said, I'm Big Al. Me and Mike Law, we had a little do-si-do for you guys, but here it is. It was supposed to be me Friday, Mike today, but we said, hey, let's just throw a little curveball at these guys and see if they can hit this out of the park. And you guys will with me tonight. I know it. And you get a Patty B tomorrow. But before all that, you get all 3 of us tomorrow morning on the greatest Sunday morning shows in all of sports, PM and the AM, with these knuckleheads and me trying to keep things together. A lot going on here. Eagles, you got the Birds Blast coming at you. You got week 2 game with the Browns coming up. Live reactions analysis. Going to be talking a lot about the Eagles, but tonight it's all about the Phillies, baby. Big win tonight. Let's hit some of these comments real quick before we get into some of the breakdown, the technical end of things. Mikey Delaney saying, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go for sure. Euro Cherry, hello. Nice to join you. Hopefully you're hitting those subscribe buttons, saying hello to us more often. Bader scoring from first is getting to be pretty regular. Yeah, I mean, Harrison Bader, a lot of people were not happy with the move of Harrison Bader. Now, listen, still small sample size. I'm not going to jump up for joy just yet, but definitely the kind of guy you want defensively in the outfield and center field, but really good on the bases. And that bottom of the lineup is pretty much 4 through 9, really producing tonight, which what we need. This is the kind of things that this team needs to do moving forward, giving these guys a break at the top when not relying on Schwarber to pound home runs. Harper's been really good since the All-Star break as well. Mickey. I'm sorry, Mickey. I always say Mikey. Mickey. My son's name's Mikey, so I see the MI. I get all flustered there. Star Wars. It's a surprise we won because Luzardo was not great. Luzardo got shaky, and he let those 3 singles in a row, scoring that first run for the Rangers. But he settled in, and he went toe for toe. You can't say he wasn't great. I know he was. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't like a sit back, pop a beer open, eat some peanuts type of game. It wasn't. It wasn't just a simple driving game. But it was the kind of game Luzardo needed. I think in some ways, Star Wars, it's the kind of game that we all needed. But you need to I'm sorry, my hat's like disappearing. I'm wondering why I look so silly on the screen. Sorry, guys. It's the kind of game that it's good to sometimes it's better than having just one cruise game, because we've seen Luzardo have bad games and then a cruise game and then they have a bad game again. But sometimes when you struggle and you're able to get out of the struggles, builds a lot more confidence. And again, got to give Rob Thompson a lot. He could have came out for another inning, but he was smart enough. He went to his bullpen. He allowed him to come out on top, which could be big moving forward from that standpoint. Stott, Kepler, Marsh hit the mistakes against deGrom. That's what you'd have to do, winning baseball, not blowing games. Yeah, I mean, listen, you could chalk this up to a loss, Nooms. A lot of guys, good teams and bad teams, I don't care. They look at a guy like deGrom, and if he's having a good game, they go up to the plate, and I call it spray and pray. You know, they just kind of swing as hard as they can and try to make contact. This team didn't do that. They didn't do that at all, and that's what you got to love about this team. And again, Nooms, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask everybody else. We're going to get into this. I hope a lot more people start joining. I'm going to try to get live on TikTok. I have to go live once and do it because I want to get some more people interacting with us. But are you ready to buy in, Nooms? Are you ready? That is the question. Are you ready to buy in? Are you wholeheartedly? Are you on the train through Red October all the way through? I want to know because I've gotten a lot of heat. I'm gonna sit here. I'm not taking a victory lap on August 9th or anything, but I've taken a lot of heat on my Friday nights. You know, when they lose, this team sucks. Look at the Rangers. Talk about not hitting with runners in scoring position. You know, they have a really good pitching staff, and they have the staff to be a good hitting staff, but they're not. And they're struggling. They could make, possibly make the playoffs. I mean, the Phillies, we're going to get into the standings and all that stuff as well. Not blowing at bats, big time. 4.5 games up. Yeah, absolutely. That's another big thing. Mets are 1-9 in the last 10 games, coming at the right time. It's huge for us. 4.5 games up, winning these games. Today's a really big win for many reasons, and Star Wars, that's one of them. Again, we're going to look at all of that shortly. I'm honestly loving the MLB game analysis here in Marlins land. It's nice to see how other teams and leagues players are doing. Well, Euro Cherry, well, thank you. So you're in Florida, all right? What part of Florida? I dabbled a little bit in Florida myself, hung out down there. My father-in-law just moved up from Florida to here. I don't know why, but he decided. I'm just kidding. He came up here to hang out with us and his grandkids. But so yeah, I mean. Yeah, join in. Listen, all fans are welcomed, and you can put me in my place. You can do whatever you want. It's all good. Thanks, Mickey. Bader is the second best outfielder available. Duran was tops available. We may regret Tate, but that's 3 years from now's problem. Yeah, we may, but is it not? It's a real fixable regret. I mean. You know, Brandon Marsh is playing much better now. I mean, I guarantee we were all regretting the Logan O'Hoppe, a certain Matty B, I'm sure is, and maybe I said his name, and he might come out of the rafters and come at me. And if he's watching, hey, any of you guys, any of the It's a Wrap people, please jump in if you want to. Come on live. I would love to have you on. But, I mean, Brandon Marsh has been up and down, but since like May, late May, early June, Brandon Marsh has been on, and big reason they won tonight. Big plays tonight. I love him in left field. I think he's great there. He gets to settle in. The platooning thing is one thing, but I think it's just Max Kepler is going to be the odd man out at one point. Maybe it's like allowing guys to get rest. So Nick Cassiano keeps his legs about him. He's going to use him to fill him in here and there. I don't know what his exact plan is, but we'll find out. And you know, again, I know everybody loved Logan O'Hoppe, but is he ripping the ball off the leather off the ball? Is he like one of the best defensive catchers out there? No. And I mean, of course, listen, he's in the Angels organization, not the greatest organization. Call for what it's worth, but are you missing him so much? I mean, again, JT Realmuto in the last 6 weeks hitting well, and his 2 guys thrown out tonight. I mean, listen, I'm a little part and partial to JT. I've always been a big JT fan. I was scribing with Bryce. Sign the man. I wanted him signed. I still think it's one of the better signings they made. He's getting up there, but he's playing well. If he continues to play where he's at, if Brandon Marsh continues to play where he's at, even Bryson Stott, get Bryson Stott a little love. He's been pretty consistent at 9-0. Maybe the pressure's off of him. His defense. I mean, this team is really kind of finding their way, you know, in August. So that's good. Like they're really getting this is what this team's going to be. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be some bad games. There's going to be games guys go for over or one-hit games. You know, we're going to see that. I'm not telling you it's going to be perfect and just sit back and enjoy the way all the way to the championship. I'm not saying that. It's going to be gut-wrenching at times. That's why I'm asking, are you ready to buy in? Wheeler tomorrow, that's a big matchup. I mean, not just because it's Wheeler, because there's injury issues with Wheeler. We gotta worry about those. Is this a lingering thing? Is it just he's been a little overworked? I'm kind of leaning more towards it's mid-August almost. Guys throwing a lot of innings pitched, a little tired. I don't think he lost it. You know what I mean? It's like, of all people, I'm not worried about that with Zach Wheeler. Luzardo, I would have been more worried about. Those are the kind of things I would worry about there. But I don't think right now I'm not worried about it until give me a reason to. Tonight is more consistent against quality pitching. That means way more than any other games in the last 20. Absolutely. DeGrom's a really good pitcher. DeGrom has had the Phillies number for a very long time. You forget he pitched with the Mets for a very long time. We had to deal with him, but he struggled over the last 2 games. I said that. I think he had like five earned runs, 4 earned runs, those kind of things, those kind of runs in the last few. I think I see Mikey Lauro. I'm going to pull him in a second. But the consistency is a big thing, and from the bottom of the order. And I'm telling you, the Duran thing was one of the biggest things, and that's one thing I always complained about Topper with, is not having closers. Now we have that closer. Guys seem to be more set on their roles. And speaking of me set on their roles, let's bring a guy in the role to tag team with me tonight. Mikey Lauro. Mike, what is going on, brother?
What's going on, Al? You had the invite. Fortunately, plans fell through for me this evening, so I was like, hey, let me jump on here. Good win.
You're welcomed.
Good win tonight. Al, the thing for me tonight was Luzardo. I loved his intensity tonight. He went out there and matched DeGrom pitch for pitch, man. And we don't beat that guy too often.
No, we don't. We don't beat him very much at all. I mean, I think he's a really huge winning percentage against us. And it's again, I said earlier, a couple of things this could have been tonight. And kind of with Nooms' comment here tonight, they're consistent. We got production more from the 4 through 9 guys. And this could have been a getaway game, whatever you want to call it. Like just it's DeGrom. Losing this wouldn't be would be understood. We come back and we got Wheeler going on the mound tomorrow. Like this, there are many reasons. This team didn't go out there. They didn't just try to close their eyes and swing away. I think this is more than just a good win. I think it's a very underestimated win. Kind of what Nooms is saying here tonight. What do you think, Mikey?
I definitely think it's in a step in the right direction. They're playing really good ball right now. And what you're seeing a lot of good defense, too. Sosa tonight was unbelievable at third base. Even going back to some of the plays they made last night, Stott making the plays. And the Mets keep metting, and I love it because, other than our boy Pudgy Mike, who's a realistic Mets fan, these Mets fans were unbearable. You can't hear them now.
No.
I'm like,
no, you can't. You can't hear them. And listen, we all have had struggles. We went on, like I said, they're 1-9 in the last 10 games right now. And we were there at one point in this season. That's going to happen in baseball, even with better teams. And I'm not writing the Mets off, but anything could change around. We still got to play them and everything. But you would think Mets fans, after all the Metsing of things up, us Philly fans, we complain a lot about, getting our hearts ripped out, tripping at the finish line, losing in the World Series, losing in the NLCS, losing in the NLDS, all these things. It's, they can sometimes trip the finish line just getting in the door. I mean, they had some success last year, and they, like every other team, they have assumed it's going to happen again. And there's no guarantee. And all the Phillies warts, or whatever you want to call them, they continually go to at least get into the postseason and put up a fight, except for last year. And last year, I'm telling you, sometimes there's a plus minus to losing like that. I don't think you're going to, that taste should still be sitting in their mouth. What do you think, Mikey?
I think so. And you could just tell by the way they talked about last year's postseason. Guys that were on this team kind of got a bitter taste, like some unfinished business with them. And of course, I'm pretty sure, our great fearless leader will be calling us the Homer Emporium tonight.
That one. I'm sorry, you have to buy in at one point. It's August 9th. You're topping your division. Now you're 4.5 games, I think we said, ahead of the Mets. And you have two teams. I mean, I think we're tied or one game loss off from the Dodgers for second place overall in the National League. And right now the Brewers are playing good baseball, and will it continue? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, especially coming up because I believe in September, Brewers and Cubbies got like 7 games, like a home and home type thing. So I believe that division is going to get sorted out as well. I also believe when it comes to the Dodgers, they've been really dealing with a plethora of injuries on their pitching staff, and some of their pitchers are starting to come back now. Glasnow's been brought back now. He's been back for about a week. Blake Snell pitched tonight. So I think they're going to be formidable. But, I'm going to give you a sleeper team, and I really, really want you to keep an eye out on them, okay? And that is the Florida Marlins. And the only reason why I'm saying this is
we got a Marlins fan in the chat right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, watch out for the Marlins because they're playing decent ball right now. They are not that far away from they're not that far away from the Mets. And the Mets could possibly lose their way out of a postseason berth. If this keeps up, I think.
I mean, the Marlins are they're 6 games out of right now. I mean, the Cardinals, the Giants, and the Reds are all above them, not by much. But I might have woken the sleeping giant.
Yeah, I think you did.
I think his the Homer light got flashed into the sky, and Matty Batman over here had to jump in. Matty B, what is going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys? First of all, stop pimping out my network, man. Inviting everybody on, man. You're supposed to do this show tonight, not Mike Laro and not me. So I offered it. Very clear.
Listen, to be honest with you, I missed it between being on vacation and being sick last week. It was, I came out flying. I wanted to talk to everybody, even you, Maddie, even you, because you know what? I'm really glad of all people. No offense, Mike, that you came on.
No problem.
I had one big question tonight, and you're the man to answer it. I'm hoping some of the fans are going to start answering it in the conversation here. Are you ready to buy in yet on this team? Not saying World Series guaranteed, but I'm just saying. Willing to put up a fight and be a contender for that World Series.
So, what do you define contender? Making the playoffs? Then yes, I am. But what do you consider? What's contender?
Going deep into the playoffs, like a top. Are they a top 3-4 team right now to win the World Series? To at least go to the World Series as an NL representative.
So they failed in the test last year. They failed in the test year before that, and they failed in the test year before that. And they're relatively the same team. So until I see something that proves otherwise, no, they're not. They're the same. Listen, tonight's win was great. They've been playing a lot better. The trade for Duran and Bader has somewhat worked, and that's good. But the DNA of this baseball team is still the same DNA that left us heartbroken in 24 and 23 and 22. And you can homer it away all you want. You can wish it away all you want. But you guys all know it's to be true. And until I start seeing more consistent types of games like this in the series before this, I'm going to say no. Are they a playoff team? 100%. They're the 4th highest payroll in Major League Baseball. They absolutely are a playoff team. But it's not about the playoffs. You guys would agree with that. It's about winning a World Series. And to me, they're no closer today than they were at this point last year.
I got to disagree with you, Matty.
What do you see differently? Like, what is different?
Because
tangibly different.
They can win games without the home run. In 22 and 23, they were.
Mike, hang on, Mike. They won tonight without the home run. Have you not been watching? The MO is the home run, Mike. That's what the MO is, and it's okay. It's okay that it's like that, but that's the MO. And that's not a consistent recipe for success come the playoffs, Mike. It isn't, and you know that.
I agree, but that's not the only way they've won. Like, Matty, if they won, 60 of their 60 whatever wins by the home run, I would agree with you, but they haven't. They have shown times to win a game by small ball. And I'm sorry, with them, I think getting Duran really, really solidified this bullpen because now you're seeing Rob Thompson have to give guys, roles. And their bullpen has been looking so much better with these roles that these guys are in now. You're going to see Banks and probably Romero in the 6th or 7th inning. Strom is going to be the 7th inning guy. And then you got Kirkering, for the 8th inning, for the most part, being the setup guy. To me, that really, they're going to be hard, man, to beat with this pitching staff. I mean, I do. I think they're going to be, Phillies are going to be a tough out. They're going to be a tough out.
Why are they, Mike? I want to know A, B, C, D, E, F. Why? I don't, and don't tell me because they have shown lately they can win with small ball. They haven't shown enough consistency with that. Pitching lights out, 100%. Maybe I would say top 5 starting rotation in all of the game. With the addition of Duran, that's a great closer. We got to get to him first in order to use him correctly, which Rob Thompson has shown that he will. But I want to know what Mike Laro sees differently. And I want to know the numbers. Tell me what you see, because I still see a team very dependent on hitting home runs. And the upkick in Stott and Marsh and Bader and Kepler, they're great. But we've seen this before. Can they be consistent in October? Marsh is a roller coaster. He's a roller coaster of a man and of emotions. He's up and he's down. Castellanos up and he's down. Stott, he's up and he's down. Where are we going to get them in October? And is that enough to bet the farm on it that they're going to win a World Series? Mike, I want to believe, I do, but I can't because it's still the same thing that's the last few years, and there's no real significant changes. Bader is an upgrade from Kepler, but he's still the Austin Hayes Whit Merrifield 3.0. He's not a legitimate DNA changer to this lineup. He's an upgrade, and he'll be used that way. But there's still problems in center field. Do you think Marsh is going to maintain this all the way through October? No, he's not.
Well, I mean, listen, a few things. Number one, you can say that about anybody. Do you think the Brewers are going to maintain this hot streak through October?
No.
I mean, I'm just saying, listen, we all know baseball is a game of streaks. We know that. So it's about who gets hot at the right time and all that. But you have to look, you got to kind of look a little deeper at things. I mean, Brandon Marsh hasn't been over the last 10 games. He's been hitting consistently since early June.
Early June? What are you talking
if you look at early to mid-June,
I'll give you early to mid-July. I'm not going to give you early to mid-June. No.
If you look at his numbers, I'll try to pull them up in a moment. Maybe I'll pull them up after the show, at the end of the show. His numbers are one of the more consistent hitters. You got Harper. Looks like he's kind of got back to his normal Harper stuff. Kyle Schwarber's just been Kyle Schwarber. There's been no change there. Nick Castellanos is Nick Castellanos. I'll agree with you on that. JT Realmuto, where's the hate on JT Realmuto? You got 2 guys thrown out tonight, and also since even before the All-Star break, been a much more consistent hitter. So the guys are getting better. So that's my point is I think that's why I'm saying it's okay to buy in now because guys are kind of coming to form. And I don't see, listen, I could see Brandon Marsh not being as good as he's been over the last 6 weeks or so. But I see Stott picking it up a little bit because he's gotten that 9th inning. It looks like he's kind of just settled in. He's 9th hitting. He's not trying to hit the cover off it. And I kind of disagree also with this. The sentiment is this team isn't really relying on the home run as much as you put it out there as it is. I think they've done very well, and the home run comes with it. Like we saw that a lot the other night. The home run comes with it as much as the home run is the only thing that's winning it for them.
So when the chips are down in a playoff series,
yes,
what are they going to revert back to?
That's the question. That's the human nature part of it. I can't control that. That's one thing I can't control. But I can tell you right now, if they're playing like they are now, and they did this last year, it wouldn't have been an embarrassment like they had against the Mets. If they did this consistently throughout the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2023, they would have taken on the Rangers in the World Series.
But that's my point, Al, is that I've seen it not work year after year. And to me, there's not enough there to say anything's going to be different. I want to believe, I do. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, and I'm not saying that they can't go deep.
I'm not saying I'm right either. You know,
But,
it's like,
yeah.
Listen, but in the scheme of things, there's 32 teams, you know, or 30 teams in baseball, and then when it breaks it all down, there's no guarantee. I don't care how good you are right now. You could have 100 wins right now on the season. There's no guarantee you're going to the World Series and winning it all.
Absolutely.
Maybe right there on paper right now, you're the more likely to do it. But a lot of the complaints that we've had over this season, I'm just looking at this season. I'm not worried about last season, seasons before,
but you have to look at last season, the season before that, because it's the same team. They haven't changed anything.
But that's
what people are forgetting. We're totally erasing that. They haven't changed anything. Come on, Al. It's the same team. It is. It's the same manager, the same GM. Well, now it's a different GM, but it's the same president of baseball. It's the same group. They just mix and match. They add in pieces every trade deadline, and it's always a closer and a left fielder. That should tell you something, too. There's a problem there that we're always having to get the same two positions at the deadline.
The thing is, Dombrowski, Duran has to be the biggest move of Dombrowski's deadline with the Phillies so far. Like, by far. Like, head and shoulders above anything else he's ever done at the deadline. I mean, they literally went out and got the best closer available. And that was, listen, we had complaints. What was our complaints? With this closer by committee, this is the one thing that me and you did not disagree on. Rob Thompson just infuriating you about putting in, I might be Kirkering today. It might be Strom tomorrow, Romano the next day. They were just trying to find something. They went out and they found the best guy available. They got him not just for a rental. They gave up a possible really good prospect in the future. That'll be 3 years before we even know that's reasonable or not. And you got a closer for at least the next 2 years, if not longer, who can. It took that decision off a Topper's plate. He doesn't have to go, I don't know. I mean, the second outing that Duran had as a Philly, I think that's when Sanchez was like 84 pitches going into the ninth inning. And the normal me is going, I guess Sanchez is going to come out and pitch the ninth inning. They're like, we got a guy for this now. So, I mean, and I think it has taken – you've seen a change in guys like Strom, a little bit in Kirkering. It's almost like they know now. We always said these pitchers got to know. These bullpen pitchers got to know what they're doing, and it seems like they know what they're doing. And I think that has – we went from a middle of the road at best bullpen and jumped up significantly in my eyes, and that's a big change. And Bader, I think, is the best case scenario that we got based on without having to give up the rest of the farm, Andrew Painter and everybody else in between to go. Because I honestly don't think this team needed a huge, an all-star, a rental, a guy who's going to cost us an arm and a leg for the rest of the season. I don't know if that would have made a difference.
Well, you gave up a hefty price tag for Duran. You gave up a catching prospect, the second top 5 catching prospect that Dombrowski has traded out of this organization in the last 3 years. That's pretty significant. We have no catching depth in this organization right now. You got Jordan Disson in Double-A, and then you got Farabis down there in AFCL. But that's it. That's the only catching prospects we have. And then if you don't want to lump in the catcher they drafted in like the 18th round this year,
sure.
But we have no catching prospects in this organization right now. So that's, but you're right. You got to give a little to get a little. You also gave up on Mick Abel, which I'm not saying Mick Abel was ever going to pan out to be where he was taken at 13th overall in 2020. I'm not saying that, but you gave up probably a good quality 4 or 5 starter a couple years down the line. You gave up a pretty hefty price tag for him. But it was a trade that had to be done, and I'm okay with the trade. I totally am. And I'm okay with the Bader trade. I'm okay with what he did at the trade deadline. It's just, and you're right, they're not rentals. Neither one of them are rentals. And that's key too. They're under control for a couple 3 seasons. I get that. And the back end of the game might be sewn up. The back end of the bullpen, finally, we might have roles for at least one person, and everybody else might get de facto roles because of it. And that's great too. But it was never about pitching with me, Al. It never was. It's always been about the consistent or inconsistent offense. And that, to me, is what's going to kill this team, because there hasn't been enough significant upgrades in that department over the past 3 years. And Bader is not a significant upgrade to change. Again, I use the word DNA because that's the problem with the offense. It's not the players. It's the DNA of it. It's the power imbalance of just power hitters. Basically, you got 5 hitters that are the same profile. And it just doesn't work when the Stotts, the Castellanoses, and the Marshes are not pulling their weight. And we've seen too inconsistent with the bottom end. Typically, the bottom end of your lineup is not going to say trash, but it's not significant. In this team, it's huge. It's probably more bigger than the top part of the lineup because of the power up top and then nothing down below. And I have not seen enough consistency from those lower players to feel like they are a World Series contender based on your definition of the word contender.
I have seen an uptick in consistency. I haven't said I've seen enough. I'll agree with you there. I haven't seen all right, I'm like I said, I'm not sitting back, smoking a cigar, drinking a drink, and just watching this team mosey its way to the World Series. I'm not saying that at all.
It is August 9th, right? It's not September 9th. I mean, we do have a lot of time left to go.
We got a lot of time. Yeah. Like, listen, guys, I don't know. God, hope not get injured. Things can happen. A lot of things can happen. It could be September 9th, and that stuff still can go down. Yeah. And one thing like Rob Thompson is, kind of 4-man platoon in the outfield. A lot of people were on him tonight. Seemed like he made the right decision tonight, at least because they won. I mean, it seems to be the right decision. Is he using to give guys like Nick Castellanos a little breather just so they don't sputter out in October? Is that what they're doing? I mean, I just feel the team has been making the right moves with Stott batting a little bit better. And this is a very small sample size to say for the last couple weeks since the All-Star break, however you want to look at it. It's been very nice having him in the 9-hole without the pressure, because everybody liked him even I myself was not hating him in the number 1 spot, but now that, he couldn't hit, that didn't help us, but now he's hitting a little better. Him to 9th, to Turner, to Harper is very beneficial. And tonight's the kind of night that we need to see happen. You had your 1-2-3 punch kind of lackluster through 7 innings. I think I retweeted earlier, through 7 innings, they were 0 for 10 to 1-2-3. Then 4 through 9 was 7 for 17. I mean, they're the ones who won you this game tonight. Brandon Marsh did it. Harrison Bader did it. They all were involved with it, and that's what we need to see from it against a damn good pitcher. Not just he. And again, I think the other thing that makes me feel a little better, what you're saying is not different, but I do feel it makes me feel different. This was a game last year, Matty B, when you have a guy like Jacob deGrom facing him, where this team would just close their eyes and just wail away, like a Nick Castellanos at bat from every guy. Just swing as hard as you can, hoping he makes a mistake, hoping he leaves the ball in the middle of the plate, and hoping you can barrel it out of here. And they didn't play like that. And to me, that's a huge difference from this year to last year and the years before in my eyes.
No, and as I said, and I don't want to sound like I jumped all over Mike for that. There's been moments this season where they've attempted to play small ball, and it's worked. But there's been a lot of moments, and there's been more of the other side of the moments where they revert back to the power ball. And when you're not, what is it? They scored, I think, 13 runs 3 times in the second half this season. And each one of those 13-run games was followed up by like a 2-run game, because for whatever reason. And it's that is a snapshot of what the Phillies are. They're a feast or famine type team, and you can't have that mentality. You can't have that psychology or physicality in October. You got to be as consistent as you possibly can be in October in order to go deep. And let me ask you this, Al: if they don't win the World Series and they fall short, do you move off of Stott, Bohm, Castellanos in the offseason?
I definitely think Castellanos. Stott, I can see them hold on to, maybe Bohm if they think there's they thought there was a market for him last year, so that wouldn't be a hard swallow to believe that they would do it. But I think they will make some major changes.
Castellanos is an easy one because he's got a year left of his contract. Stott and Bohm are still relatively cheap. They're under team control. You got Aiden Miller coming up, who probably will take over for Bohm when Bohm, I think, is a free agent at the end of 27, and they probably won't re-sign him. They'll just give it to Aiden Miller at third base. And Stott, I mean, it comes down to money, I guess. They're under team control and they're cheap. Yeah. So
that's going to play a little bit into it, and it depends on how the rest of the season goes. If he kind of settles into this 8-9 hole spot, but keeps doing that defense, then he's probably going to be worth it. And at that point, they're probably also going to be working with Justin Crawford up here. They might even move on from a Brandon Marsh if there's a market for him if he ends up playing well for the rest of the season. Or what's Harrison Bader's look like? I mean, he's got another year?
No, I think he's got like 2 years left.
I think it's a team option next year.
So a team option in 26?
Yes.
So then and a UFA in 27.
Yes. So I think they would have to pay him, but I think the problem is going to be, I think they're going to owe him like $20 million. It's going to be, or not 20, but it's going to be up there. It's going to be like 50. I don't know. I'll tell you right now. But I know I'm pretty sure it is a team option. Here we go. 1-year contract with the Twins with a mutual option in 2026. The contract guarantees $6.25 million with an additional $2 million bonus. And that's kind of what you're looking at.
That's very team friendly.
Yeah, never mind. I thought it was a little higher with that.
No, that's doable. He's back next year.
Yeah. And listen, you could keep him. You could bump if you have to move on from Marsh or Castellanos, and then you have to just bring up Crawford. I mean, I think, listen, if they lose this year, there's going to be changes coming. I think there's going to be changes coming no matter win or lose. I think the changes will be bigger if they lose. I mean, I think Nick Castellanos is gone. I think if they win or lose, Nick Castellanos is gone.
I agree.
But the rest of it, listen, like you said, they got to get younger. They're going to have to sign. They have to sign Kyle Schwarber. I mean, they did the same thing they did to Aaron Nola last year. We'll stop talking. We'll see let you go find out what you're worth, and then they're going to pay more for him. They did the same thing with Kyle Schwarber. Now they're going to end up paying through the nose for him.
Here's the wild card with Schwarber. It's the stupid ass CBA expiring in December of 26. That's the wild card with Schwarber. Does he go for a 1-year deal just to get to the end of the CBA, then hit free agency again after the new labor contract to see if he can get more money? Or do you take the chance, sign a big contract this year and get screwed over in a potential salary cap world of 2027 and beyond? That's a real kind of weird situation with Schwarber.
Question on that one. Well, wouldn't it be more of him to sign now than before the CBA changes?
Yeah, but the Phillies might not be open to signing him because what happens if they do go to a cap in 27?
Going to overpay him next year. If it's not us, it's going to be somebody. Somebody's going to take on Schwarber next year for a big chunk of change. It's going to happen.
But does Schwarber take a big time contract or just maybe 1 year to get through till 27? And a 1-year deal, I'd be interested in giving him. I think that would be good. If he doesn't want to jump full in with, the new labor world, what it might look like in 27. I mean, I don't know much about the CBA inside and out, so I don't know how much it would affect Schwarber or his market. I don't know, but it just seems that might be a wild card in the Kyle Schwarber thing.
Well, did they do a CBA adjustment right before they signed Schwarber and Castellanos?
They signed, they signed under the new CBA in 21. Yes, they did right after it came out. Yeah.
So listen, I think, and it's not just, it looks like there's certain guys who just fit the mold. I think if we can pay him what he feels he deserves, he'll sign a 3-year contract, no problem. I think he would sign a 2-3.
You don't think he wants to get another long-term one, like a Bryce Harper type contract to take him to the end?
He could. I don't know. So he's right. He's the same age as Bryce, right? So what's he?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get a 13-year deal from anybody, but 7-year, he might hold out for a 7-year deal.
I mean, maybe. It's a hard. Listen, he's 32 years old. He'll be 33 by the start of next season. He's March 5th is his birthday.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's a tough. I mean, does he?
He's not a spring. He's not even in the middle of his. He's at the twilight of his career. This is one last payday.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he's kind of like look at Zach Wheeler. I mean, he got a nice contract. I mean, he got an extension. It wasn't like he signed another 7 years. He kind of has, maybe he has an end in his sight. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be done by the time I'm 35 or 36. I don't want to be doing this in my 40s. I want to be home with my family. Like, there's certain things that guys want to do this. And he probably knows, like I said, I think he wants to stay in Philly. He's got to be pretty settled in by now. And he's he's an icon here. I mean, icon wise, I think he's above Bryce Harper, and he's probably like, you got like Jason Kelsey, Jalen Hurts, Kyle Schwarber. I think he can be top 3 icon Philadelphia right now.
So if the contract situations were reversed and say Bryce Harper or Schwarber had the Bryce Harper deal, so he's locked in for another 7 years, and Bryce Harper was about to be a free agent, would you be clamoring to re-sign Bryce Harper?
Yeah.
Yeah, not like this.
Like for this,
like how everyone's clamoring for Schwarber to get re-signed. Would there be the same type of fervor to re-sign Bryce Harper if the contracts were reversed?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, and I would say yes. The difference, I think, 2 things is, like I said, this town loves Schwarber. I think that's a big reason you see a lot of people pounding their chest for him. He looks like he's getting better, not worse, but because of the DH, the universal DH now, I think guys like him will last longer.
Yeah, that's true.
And people feel more comfortable because listen, if he was playing left field every day, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if everybody be clamoring the same way. Like, because you might be like, I'd be willing to give up some offense for defense. Like, that's always been a conversation. Are you willing to give up some, if this guy's a really good offensive player, but defensive he's lacking?
He wasn't that bad out there. He wasn't that bad. I mean,
I don't know. The last time he played, the one throw that he threw in from left field there, man, it was bad.
I mean, he broke into
like everybody looked at him and he laughed. He's like,
he broke into baseball as a catcher. We need a catcher too. Why don't we just get him back behind the plate? I'd be okay with that.
Listen, I don't think so. I don't think that big man's going to go behind the plate anytime soon. I mean, I would not be surprised if they extend JT a year or 2 after this.
They're going to have to. They got no choice. Then that's JT's got the Phillies against the wall, man.
Or they got to see who free agency hits.
Well, I mean, and I've taken a look. There's nothing really that out there right now, and we certainly are not going to go with Rafael Marchand and Garrett Stubbs as the battery next year. They're going to have to re-sign JT, and JT will probably take a 1 or 2 year deal because he knows he's getting.
And I'm okay with. I know I'm a bigger JT fan than you are, but what he brings defensively and behind the plate, working with the pitchers, I think makes him worth every penny he's at alone before you add in any offense. And now that he's hitting better, I mean, I kind of love this lineup a little bit with him kind of further in the 6 hole and back. I like Stott in that 9 hole. Brandon Marsh, same thing, 6-7 hole between him and JT, depending on the pitching matchup. I'm okay with it because I think it takes that pressure off of them and they hit better because of it. And he's the one thing with JT this beginning of the season, especially, he looked like he was I thought he needed glasses. Like, he just looked like that ball came out of the hand and it disappeared on him when he was bat. Like, when he's behind the plate catching, he's fine. You would think of all people who could see the ball out of the pitcher's hand better than anybody would be the catcher, right? But but now he's seen it. It's like he seems more comfortable at the plate. He seems more relaxed at the plate. And he just seems like he sees the ball much, much better.
For the here and the now, yeah, JT's the best option, and JT's the best option next year, honestly, even as a free agent. Because again,
even if they didn't get T8 out of here, say he's still in the farm system.
Well, he wouldn't be ready next year. T8's not ready next year. Now, Hoppy, if Hoppy was still here, I would have a serious conversation about moving on from Roomington to save money.
Well, I think listen again, Druthers. If Hoppy's still here, and JT money wise, you got to sign Schwarber. It's going to cost you.
Sorry, bud.
I think it's just a financial move at that point.
It's that, and it's youth too. It's JT's not getting any younger, and he's had a relatively injury-free season, but last year he didn't. And who knows how much more we're going to have until those knees start to give out again.
No,
So
and Nick Castellanos is due for a bad season, so I think he is definitely out. I mean, Mike's saying if the Phillies do not sign Schwarber, the Phillies need to sign Pete Alonso to first base and Harper full-time DH. Or Pete Alonso at DH. I mean, it depends. I mean, there are certain guys who need to be in the field, and I feel Bryce Harper at this point is one of those people.
yeah, he's above average defensively. He's very good
I mean,
defensively.
I really like him at first base. I mean, I can't tell you what Pete Alonso is at first base off the top of my head.
I would have a problem putting Harper back out in right field. I mean, his arm's not going to fall off. It's years removed now. He can go back out to right field. There's no reason why you couldn't put him back out in right field. Absolutely not.
Listen. I think at this point now to win, if they lose, I would not be surprised if they need to bring in a first baseman and they need to move somebody to right field and let Nick Castellanos go. I think he'll do it. I think at first he was a little reticent, but he's saying bring in Johan Heim or Hayama. I always say his name.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is.
He's the catcher for the Rangers. He's 30 years old. He's not a youngster either. He's batting okay, 260, 263. I mean, he's not. I don't think any worse or any better or worse offensively than JT, but I can't say he's JT standards when it comes to catching. So
I want the catcher from the Rockies.
Yeah,
Hunter Goodman.
Yeah,
Hunter Goodman. That's who I want. That kid's.
And maybe they do that because I mean the Rockies are a god awful organization and they just need to hit that reset button. That's why I'm saying you can't. Doesn't just because there's nobody in the farm system doesn't mean they can't go get somebody.
Yeah, but we had two. And again, I did this on my show a few weeks back. Dombrowski has traded away 8 top 30 prospects in 3 years. That's almost a third of our top 30 in prospects he's traded away. And the return value, with the exception of Duran and maybe Bader, has not been very good.
No. I mean the only way you can make the Brandon Marsh one good is if he continues to play the way he is this year. Like if
Marsh is never going to escape Logan Hoppy. He's never going to escape him. They're going to always. Well, at least I won't let him escape it.
All right. Let me. I know you won't. But no. In all honesty, like if they win the World Series this year and Brandon Marsh continues to hit the way he's been hitting and playing left field the way he's playing, is that a win now? Have you won that trade? Maybe not the trade the year you got it, but did we ultimately win that trade based on what we've seen from Logan O'Hoppe? I mean, Logan O'Hoppe isn't, the best catcher in baseball right now. He's not the most offensive great catcher. He's defensively he's good, but not great. So
he's good, but he's on his way. His career is this way.
Brandon Marsh
going
part
up.
of a win for a World Series for the Phillies. Is that a win in the trade now?
No, because Brandon Marsh's replacement's still in the organization. If they were that banked on Brandon Marsh, Justin Crawford would be gone. Would have been traded.
Oh, they're not back. No, and they have to go youth, and I would. Hate,
so no, the Brandon Marsh trade was a.
I would have hated to see him go. I would have if I mean not Logan Hoppe. If Crawford went, I mean, who would have you traded? Who would have Matty B? Now I'm gonna say happily, but been okay with a trade of Crawford for in the trade market? Was there anybody out there that you said, for him,
I would have given up Crawford for Miller.
I think the year he was having,
I still think he's got, I think, 4 years left of team control, or 3 after this year.
I think it's 3.
So I would have listened to a trade involving. I would have potentially traded Crawford. I mean, what they gave up, the Padres, in getting Mason Miller was a king's ransom. And
I literally thought of you, Matty, when I'm watching this coming out. I'm like, if Matty B was a Padres fan right now, his head. I mean, they literally had to shut down a team in their minors.
Yeah, they traded away, I think, 11 of their prospects, the top 10 prospects, or 11 out of the top 20 got the boot on the trade deadline.
2029.
And what's funny, and I mentioned this on my show, is this a couple of years ago, they sent Bank to get Soto, C.J. Abrams, Dylan Cruz. That was part of the trade to get Soto from the Nationals. And how did they restock in 3 years in order to trade the number 3 prospect in all of baseball and De Veers? I don't know. How did they get these guys? That's the player development staff I want. I want the scouts that work for the Padres working for the Phillies, because they were able to restock in 3 years after emptying the kit. to get Soto, to empty it again to get Miller. That's the kind of people I want drafting my players, man. And that was the really impressive part of how the Padres are dismantling themselves, that they can dismantle, restock, and dismantle right 3 years later. That's a hell of a good job out there, man.
Well, I mean, here's my thing is what they gave up. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I knew anything about any of these prospects that they gave up. I just know the amount of prospects that they gave up and their rankings in their organization.
Yeah. No, they're top end.
Yeah, they're top end, and they gave up a lot. But if you clear out the organization, how hard is it to restock? I mean, really, to be honest with you, I mean, yeah, the pond is empty. It's easy to go grab some extra fish in my eyes. I mean, you're not going to go grab top tier guys. Don't get me wrong. No. So I don't, and that's my thing with prospects. We don't know anything. Like
you don't know.
Like right now, I mean, how are you feeling about Andrew Painter?
Fine, because honestly, my ceiling with Andrew Painter this year was AAA. I never was on the Andrew Painter pitching for the Phillies this year. He had 2 days of lights out spring training back in 2023 before tearing his ACL. Before Tommy John. That was the only thing he gave the Phillies fans, and we ate it up. But that was it. He never pitched above AA. Then he coming back from Tommy John. They got him up to AAA, and now he's taking his medicine just like any young pitcher would. Andrew Painter will be part of the rotation in 2025. Maybe not right off the bat, but I definitely think he'll be in the rotation in 2025 at some point. I'm totally not disparaged about Andrew Painter at all. No, I was definitely wait and see with him.
I mean, I was already sold him. Not once everybody. I felt like I was the only guy who wasn't going. Well, one of the few guys. I know you weren't really in that category either, but like. They're like, well, we'll have Andrew Painter. He'll be up here in the,
July 4th. I heard somebody saying,
and then like, oh, he'll be in our bullpen. I'm like, no, he won't.
No.
How do you even know he can come out of the pen? Now, Mike's saying this, Papernick's saying this, Crawford, Ricones, Miller, Abel for Miller and Rooker. Would you have done the trade?
No way. Are you crazy?
First part, don't get me wrong. I like Rooker, but he's another guy. He's home run or nothing. Like I feel like you're adding another one that Matty B just complained about when he first came on here. Another guy who's either like kind of like a Nick Castellanos type of guy. He's going to swing a big bat, and he can be dangerous up there. And if you added him, but he's left-handed, isn't he? Rooker's left-handed. Yeah. So now
I would have done that trade. I would have done that trade for Rooker, Miller, and Jacob Wilson, the shortstop. I would have done that trade for those three, but I'm not trading all that for one guy and Rooker. There's no way, as you said. And he can't even play left field. He's another DH.
Yeah. Miller and Rooker. I mean, listen, I like Miller, and I think he could have a really great career. Don't get me wrong. He's just having a bad year. But I'm worried about winning now, so I think they took the right guy in this case. They obviously got overpaid. We would have never – you would have been – Matty, you would have been on burning this city down.
Yeah, it would have been
bad.
They
gave up that kind of ransom. Because it would have been something like that just to get Miller here.
It would have been. And I'm glad that, and there was rumors coming out that there was conversations involving the A's, and there was conversations involving Painter, and I believe Crawford was the two names that were being talked
Painter
about.
For Miller, 1-for-1, straight out.
Painter, was it?
Painter for Miller. Painter for Miller, like swap a Painter for Miller.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to have Miller over Duran right now?
For only based on the team control. It's all about control, man. It's all about who you get and how long you get them for.
Got 2 years. You have ARB2 and ARB3 with Duran.
You have 2 with Duran, right? You have 26 and 27.
Mm-hmm. So you only have what? 2 less years. You gave up 2. You gave up a good prospect in T8, which we don't know anything about him. He could be a big old nothing.
Everybody forgets about Mick Abel. Mick Abel's going to be a good pitcher. He's going to be a serviceable pitcher.
Mike, okay. So you gave up a serviceable pitcher.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
You gave up a possibility of a good catcher
I'm
for
okay with that.
a guaranteed lockdown closer. I mean, the guy's throwing his off-speed shit's 98 miles per hour, Matty B. I mean, he's fun to watch.
No, I 103.3 mile an hour fastballs
too.
And he gets his own walk-up music. Yeah, no, it's great. I'm not bad. I'm I don't have heartburn. The only heartburn I had was the Tayit thing, because we just don't have any other catching prospects currently in the system that are anywhere near major league level ready. And Tayit wasn't either, but he was closer than what we got now. So I don't know what the philosophical plan is for this organization with catcher. And I know that's not a problem that typically World Series teams have to deal with, because as you said, it's about winning right now, and we can potentially fit the puzzle piece later for a catcher. But no, I was okay with Abel. I was okay with the trade for Abel. I was okay with giving up Henry Mendez for Bader. I totally okay with all that. The only problem I had was a little heartburn over Tayit because of the catching issues that we have in the organization. But no, overall, I'm fine with what was given up and what so far the return has looked like. Absolutely.
Yeah. Joel saying, what's up? This is first time checking you guys out. Just came on my suggested feed. Joel, well, thank you. Number one, I know you hear this from a lot of people, but do hit that subscribe button. This is every post game. There is every game, 162 games plus the postseason. And I see Joe sitting here saying, great show as always. Anytime we see you guys together, hope to see you again. And actually, probably a little before that, I was going to talk to Matty B this week. I think in September, you're going to see me kind of jump on a couple of his shows with him and really talk into October with him. I really want to get more with Matty B. A lot more Phillies talk with him, on his show, which might as well, while we're talking about, because we kind of got a little off the normal beaten path tonight. But, of course, you have the final word with Matty B. You're going to see me on them and some of his post-game shows as well. So I will be jumping on a few more of those in the not too distant future, definitely in September.
And with football season coming up, we got post game with that. And when we get to the Phillies post season, we will do these shows as a duo. It'll be me, Al, Mike, Al. If Pat ever gets to the Apple Store, him with Steve. Somebody. Yeah, Steve Fuentes with somebody. So.
Yeah, great series win. I'm tomorrow. It's not even about the win. I'm just worried. Just hoping Wheeler is kind of back to form.
Is he hurt?
I don't know if he's. I think he's fatigued. I would say more fatigued than hurt. I mean, the guy.
Now this is stemming from before the All-Star. I remember right after the All-Star break, they reshuffled the rotation in order to put him in the back end of it. And the reasoning that I heard was because he was going to spend time with his new kid. Now they're pushing to start back again. So this is something that obviously is, if it's fatigue, it's been something that's existing since July. If it's something more than that, then it's been existing since July. So we don't need, what was I going back and forth with the other night about that? Somebody was saying, or maybe it was a different show. Somebody was saying that it's okay because we have a situation where we have Sanchez, who could be the number one in the postseason. That's a crock of crap. Right? Sanchez is not a number one. He's a great story. He may have to be the number two if Nola can't figure it out. But if we don't go into the playoffs with a healthy Zach Wheeler, I don't care what kind of offense we're going to bring to bear. We're done. We're done.
You're absolutely right. Zach Wheeler is a linchpin in this situation, big time. I mean, Nola, I haven't seen anything lately. I know his last start he had was in the minors was pretty good. The one plus here, if Nola comes back healthy, if he's completely healed, that's huge. I mean, he's going to be well rested. So if we have a Nola who's well rested and Wheeler is the newer Wheeler, a 1-2-3 punch of him and of those two and Sanchez, that's huge for us. That's huge for us. You move Taiwan to the bullpen in case you have to have any more long relief innings or anything like that. I mean, I'm definitely feeling better if all that plays out that way. I think Zach is a little fatigued more than injured. If that's what you're asking.
Well, I hope that's the case.
Maybe it's a little bit more hope. Maybe it's just wishful thinking too, Maddie. I mean, what is your feelings on Harrison Bader since acquiring him, and do you like him in center field over Marsh?
Well, like Crawford in center field over Marsh.
I honestly listen. It's one thing. I guess I gotta take my takeaway. I really had him coming in center field. I mean, and then I keep hearing like they weren't gonna even listen to any conversation at the trade deadline for Crawford, and I get that. I'm okay with that, but I guess they just wasn't in the future. They just don't feel it's ready for him to be put in this
So,
situation.
we all fooled
Johan
ourselves,
Rojas
me
style.
included. We all fooled ourselves, me included, about the service time thing. They want to save a year on his contract. That's admirable.
Mm-hmm.
So they did, and they long past that date. They could bring him up now and still save that year. That's not going to be affected. Then it was the whole, all he does is hit ground balls. He has too many balls on the ground, which when is that a bad thing? I think that's a great thing. That's something we need in this lineup. We need somebody who puts the ball in play and moves runners.
He had a leadoff home run tonight too.
Yeah, right. Then he's got power. So that might be the biggest conundrum. To me, it's more of a conundrum than the Andrew Painter situation. Is why ain't Justin Crawford here yet? Mm-hmm. And I've theorized that bringing Justin Crawford up would tell the rest of Phillies Nation, and Dave Dombrowski would have to admit to himself that he made a bad trade by bringing Marsh for Logan O'Hoppe. I honestly believe that. I think it's pride at this point.
I listen, maybe, but I honestly think they wanted to go with something more tried and true. Johan Rojas was the same idea. They brought him up around the All-Star break. He was offensively batting 300 through the regular season, that half of the season, and then he got to the postseason and was like a deer in headlights, and we all know how that played out. I think they're afraid of that happening again. And look at Johan Rojas. He hasn't really been consistent since then. So I think I honestly think they wanted something a little bit more guaranteed, not guaranteed, but like more proven, I guess is a good way of putting it.
No, I agree. I'm not saying, but again, I think there's something to that if we pull the plug on Marsh with Crawford, even though he is the future and he eventually will take that job at some point. And I'm not waiting for the next, Marsh is under team control for the next 3 years. I'm not prepared to have Justin Crawford sit in the minor leagues for the next 3 years. That's just ridiculous. But a decision is going to have to be made soon about what Crawford is going to be doing with this team.
No, I think it's all but Crawford screwing up in spring training. He's here. I mean, honestly, I'm telling you, I think Nick Castellanos is gone. So that means if you're going to have Harrison Bader here next year and you still run with Brandon Marsh, or if you let Brandon Marsh go or trade him away or whatever, I don't know how much he's got left on his contract, and you move, say, Bryce Harper to right field, keep Bader in center field, and so on and so forth with left field. Move Bader to left field and put Crawford in center field. Then you go get the polar bear himself, Pete Alonso, or whatever. Something along those lines.
That'd be awesome.
You re-sign Kyle Schwarber. I guess you continue. I mean, it would be the third base. Are you moving up to Aiden Miller next year too?
Not next year. Miller's about another year away. Miller's 2027.
So do you run with Bohm again next year? And then
I think you are for the financial implications. Yes, you're going to run with Bohm again. And I don't know if I'm okay with that, because then it's the same thing about Stott. I'm going to run back him because, again, the finances. If I had to go sign Kyle Schwarber, if I got to break in a couple of new pitchers and whatever. But there are. It's a weird. And then you get the catching thing. You say that they don't win it all. There's going to be some real change that needs to happen, and I'm not denying that you're wrong. You are right, but I don't know if they can make the changes because of the finances and of the situations with these players that are under control and the value of some of these players. I don't think anybody's lining up to trade for Bryson Stott. I don't think anyone's lining up for Marsh or Bohm. So you might be stuck with them, and I don't know if that's a bad
I think
thing.
You are stuck with them. I think the Phillies either one of two things. They either overvalued Bohm because they tried moving on from him this year after his temper tantrum and having to sit him in the postseason last year. They're over him. I think they'll stick by. I think Stott's less of a head case, and I think they can finally say, all right, listen, we don't need to make him a 2-hole hitter or a 5-hole hitter or whatever. But, if we make him a good end of the order 7 through 9-hole hitter and his defense continues to be the same, I think you run with him from a price standpoint and from a consistency standpoint. I mean, if you can get rid of Bohm, do you run with Sosa for next year?
What about Otto Kemp?
Otto Kemp too. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I would definitely probably roll with Kemp because, again, he's cheap. And but that's not something I'm going to bed with a happy smile on my face.
No.
That's not, for a team that's on the cusp of winning a World Series, I need a little bit more
So if
that
they
third base
win it, are you
position.
okay with it then?
No.
Because you want it again.
I want it again. Yeah.
You want it again. I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. And I know we're kind of off the beaten path tonight. I am going to run through this, Matty. If you want to stick around, please do so. If not,
actually, I'm gonna bounce out because I do got to get up early in the morning. So Al, thanks a lot for jumping back on tonight, man. And all the stuff that you've done for me. And we, from a network standpoint, we did hit 100 subscribers on YouTube yesterday. I put up on the internet. Thank you, everybody out there, and please continue to like and subscribe and share.
Now,
we went from 0 subscribers. Yeah, we went from 0 in October to 100 10 months later. That's great. I want to thank everybody for that. And I know that you've had some stuff going on in your personal life, and I know you're going to slowly transition back into this. So obviously, whatever you want to do is you're more than welcome and free to do so. Thanks a lot for coming back, man.
I can't wait to get back on more Matty B shows because apparently they love when we talk. It's people. I don't know. I think we just argue all the time. But hey, what the hell? I guess people want to pay to see that, right?
Well, it's. I can't live in the Homer fantasy world, man. And you not only live there, I think you own property there. So
El Presidente, right?
Yeah. Or you're on the board. I know you're something there.
My VP, Mike Laro. Don't worry.
No, I'm trying. I thought you were the grand poobah of homers. Mike is making a push, man. He's making a push to take your seat. So
are you going to change the picture? Are you going to change?
It might be big Alan Mike's excuse for you. It really might.
And they're like used cars.
Yeah, like facing each other. I'm telling you guys are about to go into business together, man. But no, listen. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you letting me on. All right,
guys. So like I said, we're going to get into this stuff here. But real quick, I'll remind you can get more Matty B Sunday through Thursday for the final word. So after tomorrow's game, you'll have him talking about where they're at. He's going to talk, I'm sure, more about us going back and forth. Tomorrow morning, though, I'm going to be right back at it. So in the next 9 hours, whatever it is, you will see me back with Pat Bernard and Mike Laro for the PM and the AM. Sundays will never be the same. You will need church on Sundays when you're done with this crew. The wraparound with Pat Bernard, but it's been Mike Laro lately. But yes, Pat Bernard normally on Friday nights at 10:30. And then, of course, Attacking Third with Pat and Steve, as always. So let me just jump back in here to me. So let's real quick, guys. I want to run through this. I know we've been at it for over an hour. It's longer than normal, but I haven't done this in a while. So I missed you. I did. I missed you. I missed talking, and I'm glad those guys jumped on because listen, the game is the game tonight. We're going to go through all the stats. But the big thing was, are you ready to buy in? Are you ready to let your heart be broken, if they don't win? Are you happy with the changes that they made at deadline? Or do you think this is a better team that they were than just a month ago? These are all the questions I want to start knowing how you feel now, and we'll talk again more in September. You'll hear me a little bit more in September with jumping on with Matty B, jumping on with a couple of the guys doing the final as well as me on Friday nights. And then, of course, when we do our duo shows come for the postseason, because that is I don't sit down for those games, guys. That is a game I live pitch by pitch when I watch every piece of seeds chewed on, every gum chewed. I don't miss a beat. But right quick, let's look at the batting. So Turner went for 0 for 4 tonight with 3 strikeouts. Not a great night after last night. I think he had 4 or 5 hits, whatever it was. Schwarber was 0 for 3 tonight with 1 walk and a strikeout. Harper was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Jacob deGrom, man, it is what it is. I think Schwarber's got I think he's 1 hit in his career against him. Remuto was 1 for 3 tonight, batting at .270. Marsh is 1 for 4 with a run scored, 2 strikeouts. For as bad as he did, his average is up to .277 right now. So, it's better than Bryce Harper's, and it's better than Kyle Schwarber's. So, take that for what it's worth. Harrison Bader was 1 for 3 with a run scored tonight and a walk, batting at .253. Kepler had a game tonight. You could probably put him in as player of the game, and we all wanted him out here. And listen, I know it's one game. I honestly think they're using him to give guys breaks and kind of not let guys wear out before October. So you might see him in right field one night. You might see him in left field another night and moving guys around to give him a little bit of a break. I think that's what he's really being used for. I don't think you're going to see much of him in the postseason unless he just has a epiphany and starts playing great ball again. Then it's just a bad problem to have, right? But he was at 2 for 4 with a run tonight and 1 strikeout. Sosa was 0 for 4 tonight with a strikeout, but had some amazing defensive plays. Stott was 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI and a strikeout. Like I said, all those RBIs came, those 3 of them came from Kepler and Stott, all the 7 and the 9-hole hitter. So at 32 at bats, 3 hits, 3 runs off of 7 hits, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and 11 strikeouts against Jacob deGrom. It's, I'm not just taking it. I'm happy with these guys. This could have been a game where they're just whatever. It's Jacob deGrom. We're gonna lose games like this. We hope to get lucky, but they didn't play like that. Our Phils keep getting away from the Mets in the division. The Mets keep collapsing. I love seeing it. Jose, music to my ears, off your lips to God's ears, however they say it. If you haven't done, all these YouTube guys, like Matt said, we're up to 100 subscribers. That means the world to us, and I hope, Jose, you're one of those 100. If you're not, can you please just real quick subscribe? There's a post-game Fighting's Final. After every post-game, one of us will be on here to talk to you. And wait till we get to October. It gets real crazy then. And then let's go down to the pitching. Jesus Luzardo. I know he didn't have the greatest start. He left those 3 hits, 3 singles up. And then but then he really settled in, went 6 full innings, 7 hits allowed over those 6 innings, 3 of them in the first inning. That was, 4 hits through the next 5 innings. 1 run scored, 1 earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Had a really respectable game tonight. And like I said, I think the one positive thing you want to take from it, it wasn't just a great game, soup to nuts. He struggled, but he was able to get his bearings from it and go 6 full innings. And they took him out, I feel, just the right amount of time. Didn't let him stay in there and get clunked in there and just kind of take the wind out of his sails. And Tanner Banks came in with a clean inning, 1 hit allowed over there. Not cleanest inning, but 1 hit allowed, but that was it. No more. He got out of that. Strom let up the 1 home run, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout, but we made it 3-2, and that was all the scoring that would get done. Duran went, he was Duran. God, it's so nice to have this closer. We've talked about how much great starting pitching we've had. We've had some great pitching over the last few years at times. We never had a closer. But he has that closer mentality. Everybody see that little shimmy after strikeout number 2? The way he throws, the way that movement comes, 102, just disgusting. He is what you want to see. He is what we've been begging for. And I know everybody knows how great he is, but I think people are forgetting the ripple effect of a Duran in this organization. Now we have a closer. We don't have to worry about Rob Thompson, closer by committee crap, guys not knowing what they're doing, when they're supposed to be doing it, throwing them off their game. And then now I think Kirkerings and Stroms and these guys, they know what they should do. They know what they're going to be. And I think it just settles these guys in. And it makes this bullpen go from good to really good and possibly great if they continue to soar. Jose asks, should we lock Duran now to a contract? Probably will be something talked about on the offseason. I have 2 more years of arbitration, and then he's up. It might be just worth it to them. Maybe they go 1 more year and then they sign him. I don't think they go full 2 more years of arbitration, but they might just come out and say, listen, man, let's lock you in now. But he may not want to do that. He knows what he's worth. He knows. So it would be in the Phillies' best interest to lock him in now, because no matter what, if you wait 2 years, the rate's going to probably go higher and higher. But there is the CBA coming, like Matty B just said just a little bit earlier. So I don't know. I think it would behoove the Phillies to do it. Would him and his agent want to do that? They might want to sit in for the next 2 years and just see what happens. He is electric. He is elite. So I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if if they try to, but will he take it? That's all a different story. So like I said, he just did what he did. 9 innings, 9 hits allowed, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, and that was the 1 walk from Luzardo, 6 strikeouts, and the 1 home run, also led up by Strahm. But a great all-around game. Nick Castellanos didn't have to come off the bench. Kemp, Marchand, and Wilson all sat on the bench. I would love to see Wilson move on back down. I would love to see them bring Crawford up, but I guess they're not going to do that. I don't know. I don't know. It would be nice another out if he can play outfield, so I don't see why. But Ricky's watching, guys. Just in case you didn't know, Ricky's watching. Ricky, what is going on, my friend? But like I said, all you guys on YouTube and Facebook or Twitter, wherever you're on, if you have not subscribed, please jump over to the other one. Subscribe if you haven't. But let's take a trip down the old Broad Street and check out that old bottom line. Broad Street Bottom Line is brought to you by the great people here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. We have a lot of things going on right now, including you're going to have Eagles post games. Steve Fuentes running these great things. You might even see me on there occasionally talking birds. Love talking Eagles right now. The Eagles are fun. And I'm going to ask you guys one non-Phillies question. Did anybody see the hit CeeDee Lamb took from the ref today? That was funny. But we'll go back to it. The bottom line today is few bottom lines. They won a series. They continue to win series. And they continue to put that distance between them and the Mets. The Mets are losing, we're winning, and they're doing it. And this is when you need it. 4.5 games. It's not a mountain to climb. Too bad. I mean, we can go to 1-9 streak like they are right now. But they made a lot of moves at the deadline as well. So, they are hurting right now. And we are putting our foot on the throats right now. And we're winning against teams. You got the Rangers who are in a playoff hunt. You got a lot of good teams here. You got a lot of good baseball left to play. So you need to win now. And that's why I'm trying to put a lot of emphasis on this win against DeGrom is huge because this could have been, we won last night. We could split the series tonight. It's DeGrom and then be done with it. Go for the sweep. Marcus, do we get the sweep? I sure as hell hope so, my friend Marcus. I sure as hell hope so, my friend. Because the question is, if you're just joining us, we were talking about just a few moments ago. Is Zach Wheeler really is he injured? And I kind of feel he's more fatigued. Zach Wheeler is a gamer. I'm not as worried as I would be if it's anybody else. But if we get the Zach Wheeler we know and love, yeah, they can get the sweep. But that's my Broad Street bottom line. My bottom line is this team is starting to come into what I feel is the form that we need to see from them. I feel like there's been a lot of good changes. I mean, there's still some of those haunting things from last year and the years before. I mean, can they fall back into bad habits? Absolutely. When this team struggles, we saw this. When this team had some struggles this year, we saw them swinging for the fences when they didn't need to, trying to end every game on a home run. They haven't done that yet, and they played solid baseball. They played consistent small ball. They're not trying to hit it over the fence, but it does come because guys like Kyle Schwarber just cannot not hit home runs. God, I love watching that man play. But Marcus, do we get to sweep? I sure as hell hope so. We'll be talking a lot more about this tomorrow morning on PM and the AM. I'll be here with Pat and Mike at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So if you guys are up, please join us. I would tell you to drink your coffee through a straw, because you will have a couple spit takes with these two guys. Trust me, you. So that is my Broad Street bottom line. So let's take a trip around the bases. All right, guys, around the bases. Right now, still going. Top of the 8th, Boston in San Diego. The Dodgers. I'm sorry. The Padres are up 4-3 over the dreaded Red Sox. The Dodgers are bludgeoning the really hot Toronto Blue Jays 9-0 right now at the end of the 6th. Seattle's up 6-1 over Tampa Bay in Seattle. They got them coming up soon at the end of this month. Final for the day. The Yankees beat Houston 5-4. I'm sure that was a big win for New York. San Fran lost to Washington 4-2. That's a nice loss for us. Keeps them down in the order, the pecking order down there. The Angels beat Detroit. Yes, the Logan Hoppy led Los Angeles Angels beat Detroit 7-4. Pittsburgh lost to Cincinnati 2-1 in Pittsburgh. Baltimore got just beat, belt to ass, as we say, 11-3 against the Athletics, the cityless team of the Athletics. Kansas City beat Minnesota 2-0. Cleveland beat the White Sox 3-1. Let's see, where are they? Oh, sorry. New York, of course, lost to Milwaukee, who is really hot right now. They're 9-1. I think the Mets are 1-9 right now in the last 10 games. The only team to be over 70 wins right now at 72-44. They lost 7-4 to Milwaukee in Milwaukee. The Cubbies just beat belt to ass again. Their division rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals, 9-1. Keeping head to head with us in the standings. Of course, Phillies beat the Rangers 3-2. Colorado lost to Arizona 6-5. Atlanta beat Miami 7-1. I guess they played twice today, and they also beat them twice today. So 7-1 the second game. The first game was 8-6, a little bit closer game, but they did take the two games against Miami today. And that is your trip around the bases. And real quick, because it's the end of the season, it's August 9th. I know we always look at it earlier, but this is really when I kind of start to dissect the standings, the wild card. Right now, your division leaders are the Brewers, the Dodgers, and of course the Phillies. We're tied with the Dodgers right now at 67-49. Now, if they held on, they'll be 68-49. The Brewers are at 72-44. Question I kind of posed in the beginning. They're an 8-game winning streak. They're 9-1 their last 10 games. Are the Brewers the real deal? Are they really? Are they going to make a lot of noise, or will they come back down to earth? Right now, they have a differential of a +131. We're a +88. The Dodgers are +78. The only closer team to them is 118 is the Cubbies with a plus. Everybody else is +30 or less, 35 or less. So right now they are the real deal. I mean, you can't take that away from them. They are playing some damn good baseball. So they could sweep the Mets out tomorrow and really keep them down in the basement for us. That'd be great. Right now, and it actually could make things real difficult them because right now the Mets are in that third spot in the wild card. Your wild card standings are the Cubbies at 67-49. They're plus 4.5 right now in the wild card. San Diego is 64-52, and they're +1.5. And the Mets are in that third spot at 63-54. Like I said, they're 1-9. They're 1-9 in the last 10 games. The Cubbies are 5-5, and they're still keeping tail with us. So the Padres are 7-3. We are 7-3, and the Dodgers are 6-4 in their last 10. And right there, looking outside, looking in, they're 2.5 games out of the wild card spot. So tomorrow, if the Mets lose, this could make things real interesting. The Reds win, it could make things real interesting because they're 2.5 games out. Right below them is San Fran at 4 games out. The Cardinals 4.5 games out, and Mike's sleeper team, the Marlins, 6 games out. Diamondbacks are 7.5 games out, and then you start to fall into the guys that are pretty much out of it. The Pirates, and we noticed one team I have not mentioned yet, and I kind of enjoy noting that we have not mentioned yet, are the Braves. That's right. The Braves are 13 games out of the wild card. How the mighty have fallen. Washington 16.5 games out, and of course the the Rockies are 32 games out. So a -321 run differential. That's crazy. Toronto is top in the AL East. I know it's not as big as importance, but hey, what we're looking at the top division leaders in the AL East, right, or the AL are all 5-5 in the last 10 games. Toronto is 68-49 at number 1 spot. The Tigers are 67-51, so they're right behind them. And Houston's 65-52, so it's a neck and neck kind of race. Boston's top, the Red Sox top in the wild card right now, 3 games, +3 games in that wild card, 65-52. So they're tied with Houston from a standings point. Seattle is 64-53 in the number 2 spot at +2. And the Yankees are holding on to that third spot. Both New York teams hang on to those third spots at 62-55. Cleveland's only a half game behind them. The Rangers are 2.5 games, so these are big losses for them because they would really be right behind Cleveland. Tampa Bay is 5 games out. Los Angeles Angels are 6 games out. Twins are 6.5 games out. And then you fall into the Orioles that are 9. Athletics are 11. And, of course, the White Sox are 20 games out. So that is kind of looking around the league right now. I hope the Mets next season turn into this year's Colorado Rockies. Jose, we can only hope. For like Matt, or was it Mike said? Yeah, I think Mike said earlier, we've had plenty of Mets fans in this chat. We've been doing the Fightins final now, not under a different company, but we've been doing the Fightins final now for 3 seasons since 2022. Yeah. So we covered every game post and regular season. So man, that's a lot. I would like to see what those numbers look like. And Mets fans would jump in here plenty of times. And then when they start doing bad, they are crickets, absolute crickets. I give other teams credit because I know we got a guy who was a Marlins fan here earlier, a guy from Seattle, Tacoma, Washington. By the way, great show, Tacoma FD. It's hilarious. If you haven't seen it, if you're out in Seattle, anybody watch it, but it's based in Tacoma, Washington. Who's a Phillies fan. So, those guys still come back. And I've had a lot of guys come back and go, yeah, man, eat my crow. Num num, this crow's delicious. But in this case, Mets fans, they will not do that. They will not graciously eat their crow. So that being said, guys, that's it. That's it. It's a long one tonight. An hour and 27 minutes. Hour and 27 minutes tonight. Thanks, Mike, for jumping on. Thank you, Matty B. It was great to talk with you guys. Like I said, I wasn't here last week and the week before because I was on vacation the first week. I came back and I was a little under the weather and I missed the second one. So thanks to those guys for being amazing, as always. And I will be back in just a little over 9 hours with Pat and Matt, or Pat and Mike for PM in the AM, talking all things Philly sports. We'll talk, of course, the Phillies here. We're going to talk a little of the Eagles. Maybe touch on a little Flyers. Penn State, I think, might be in the cards. Maybe we'll talk about the Sixers if you want to hear me vomit while you're eating your breakfast. You never know. Whatever floats your boat, my friends, we will be there for you. Other than that, guys, I hope to see you real soon, and thank you. And if you haven't, I know it's cliche, and I know it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't cost you a penny. But if you could please hit that subscribe button. A lot of you new guys out there, I really hope you hit the subscribe button. It was great to talk to you. I'm Big Al. Go Phillies. Big series win. Going for the sweep tomorrow. And I'm out of here.